It's February, the time when most over-the-air TV stations are switching over their signals from analog to digital. Are you ready? Despite the ads on TV, and possibly because of recent legislation, people are still unsure about what to do to prepare, when they have to do it, or if they have to do anything at all. I'm Sean Orange for Powit TV, and we are here to give you the answers. The new digital TV signal, called ATSC, broadcasts over a portion of the existing UHF spectrum. These signals use a lot less space than the existing NTSC format, but can contain a lot more information. Originally on February 17th, these full-power analog stations were required to switch over to these digital-only signals. However, recently Congress has passed legislation so that this date is now moved back to June 12th. However, many stations will still shut off their analog antennas on February 17th. Chances are your local stations have been broadcasting at least one digital signal for several months now. I say at least one because digital channels take up less signal than analog, so many stations now have more than one channel at their disposal. But it also introduces a new concept for channel numbering. Channel 15 in Madison, Wisconsin has its regular programming, but also broadcasts a 24-hour weather and news channel. There's more than one Channel 15. Wisconsin Public Television has 5 channels for its programming. Digital TV can provide even more cool and exciting features, but these are the basics. Ironically, if you're able to watch this video on your own, chances are you don't need to do anything to make the digital TV switch. You're probably getting cable or satellite with your internet. Cable providers aren't required to switch to digital for 3 more years. However, many have begun using digital receivers. If you're a Charter or Comcast customer, you probably already have a box that looks something like this. This video isn't necessarily for you, but there may be some reasons why you still may wish to pick up a converter box for your home. If your TV uses these to get a signal over the air, however, then this video will be mostly useful for you, because when you turn on your television in June, this is all you're going to see. A digital converter box is so called because it converts the over-the-air ATSC signal into the analog NTSC one that your television understands. I can't really recommend what would be best for you, but out of the few I've seen, the Digital Stream DTX9900 is my favorite. Hookup is pretty easy. Most models have these options. There will be an input for your antenna and a corresponding output. We'll be discussing these antennas in the next section. The output works in a similar fashion to a VCR, outputting the signal to channel 3 or 4. Alternatively, most models have audiovisual RCA outputs as well. Again, like a VCR, DVD player, or video game system, these outputs will hook up to corresponding inputs on your television. Watch your converted signal by switching to one of these inputs. Your converter box will probably come with a cable to hook up the RF signal, and will probably not come with AV cables. If you spend more than $10 on these, you are paying too much. With these options, you'll never need to use your TV's channel selector again. Except maybe to use the input your converter's hooked up to. Now comes the part that the ads and the TV salesman failed to mention, and the media has only just recently picked up on. If you're going digital, you're probably going to need a new antenna. Analog television broadcasts over the UHF and VHF spectrums. By comparison, digital TV only inhabits a portion of the UHF spectrum. Rabbit ears are VHF dipoles and will not work with the digital signal. Here's what will. I picked up a UHF antenna at Best Buy for $40. Now, don't panic, you can get cheaper ones for as little as $9. This one costs more because of its design, but mostly because it's powered, supposedly to amplify the signal it receives. Yep, you actually have to plug it in. You can spend as much as $70 on a fancy antenna. Aren't there better options? It turns out you can make one yourself. It's not pretty, but it's functional. Check out more details in the show notes at powit.tv. Or if you have one of these in your roof with this shape, you're probably good to go. Now, let's plug this thing in and see what it can do. Your digital converter box should have some kind of setup process. The Digital Stream DTX9900 has this channel scan menu you can access by using the menu button. Once this is done, you will only use the converter box to change channels. You should be able to program the remote control to your TV's power and volume. But it doesn't stop there. Your new converter should have a whole host of new features that come standard. Just like a DVD player, alternate language tracks, closed captioning, and other signals can be broadcast with the picture. But what's this? If your TV is like this one and needs a digital converter box to get a signal, chances are this won't make much difference to you. Analog TVs like these receive a low-resolution television signal called 480i. The 480 stands for the number of lines that can be drawn to the screen. Even on a digital signal, many channels will only broadcast at 480i because this saves space compared to larger resolutions and allows to broadcast multiple channels over the same band, as we mentioned earlier. However, digital TV allows for formats with more lines and a wider picture. There are several high-definition formats, but what they share in common is something called aspect ratio. Analog 480i signals have a ratio of 4:3, which is nearly a square. Digital TVs and high-def signals have a wider format of 16:9. This is comparable to, but not exactly the same as, the aspect ratio of movie theater screens, and subsequently DVDs, which can have a feature called anamorphic widescreen. But that's a different video entirely. But here you are with your 4:3 television and digital converter box, so what good is HD to you? Actually, chances are a lot of the channels you're watching are in high def. This isn't a problem for you because your digital converter box, in addition to changing the signal from digital to analog, is also shrinking the signal size down from widescreen to 480i. If HD channels are in widescreen, what happens to the rest of the picture? When watching a down-converted HD channel, the converter actually zooms in on the picture. There are no black bars, but the sides of the image are actually cut off. The Digital Stream DTX 9900 zoom option allows you to see the entire 16:9 picture with the dreaded black bars. It also has a 14:9 mode that squishes the image horizontally and uses the full width, but most people and objects seem abnormally thin. For the most part, you're probably going to want to stay zoomed in. Graphical overlays for things like sports and the news are actually constrained to the original 4:3 box, so you're not going to miss anything. For most of you, this is all you need to know to get started. Enjoy! Even for those of you with digital TVs like this one behind me, there are advantages to using an over-the-air signal, but you don't need an actual converter box to enjoy it. Check out powit.tv for show notes and further information about things like antennas. This is Sean Orange. Thanks for watching.